Yo, what's up, everyone? I'm gonna give everyone a minute to come in the stream, But yo, what's up, Wilson, bro? I felt closer to we got to the series. Kind of after a live stream yesterday, bro. I kind of felt really good about the series. I don't know, and like even in the first half today, like they were down 4 points at half. I just kind of just felt good the entire way, man, bro. Julius Randle could not do anything today, bro. He shot 9 of 13, and it's like in terms of like actually creating the ball, almost everything was just like deep catch and shoot 3 pointers. Bro, I need to give JDub his credit, man. I've been kind of harsh on him. Um, JDub is incredible, man. JDub's incredible, man. No, exactly. I felt way more scared playing the Nuggets because like at the end of the day, the Wolves don't have a player that bend you on defense the same way that Nikola Jokic did, right? Like obviously they have more defensive personnel, more stuff like that. But like as long as the Thunder can dominate a game defensively, they're gonna be fine every time. That's how they won in the regular season, and that's how they're gonna win right now, man. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Difference. I didn't feel any nervousness. I didn't feel any doubt. Like it kind of felt like the Thunder were controlling the game the entire time today. Even when they were down, it kind of felt like the Thunder are doing what they want to do. They're getting controlling the game defensively. Shai's getting to his spots offensively. Like I feel really good about how this game went and how the series went. And I know there's gonna be some people here like they're gonna talk about how we probably said the same thing after game one Dallas, but like it felt a lot different, man. Like it felt like end of the day, Minnesota only has so many counters to how we can play defense, right? Like Randall's gonna struggle against most of our guys in the post, and his post up offense is like one of the primary sources, right? He couldn't post up J-Dub. Crusoe gave him fits. Um, Dort did really good. Dort did really good against him also, and that's like that's another thing that's not that you can't take for granted. Gobert, you made Gobert nearly unplayable offensively. Down in the second half, he only played like a. I think he didn't really play outside of the first stint. He played in in the third quarter, and that was a testament to how good, like how many times they're forcing Gobert to play in the middle of the floor, make the extra pass, and obviously you're completely fine with him doing that. Yeah, we were down. I don't even know if we were down 9, but if we were down 9, like I didn't really feel like it. Like their offense, I just feel like it's gonna be so hard for them to break out of like whatever. I mean, they didn't shoot great from free today, but like they weren't shooting great shots. I feel like the only player who shot a lot of open free pointers was Dante, and Dante's been kind of off and on all postseason. Yeah, 3 more games now, only 3 more games. No, Jason, exactly. Like the two series that were really close. If we don't, I'm not gonna say lost, right? Could we beat Denver, obviously, but we struggled defensively a bit in terms of like we didn't completely dominate. Was Denver and Dallas, right? But it's because they had those two players which are kind of unguardable. Like they're insane scorers on the ball 1-on-1, and they're obviously like top tier playmakers. I feel like Ant is pretty. I don't think Ant is too complicated to move out of game. Like outside of that step back 3 pointer that he has, he's not great in the mid range. Um, he doesn't have an insane touch. So if you just take away step back free, you're completely fine with it. Um, yeah, nobody can hit. Another thing was I don't really understand what Mike Conley was. Mike Conley just felt like he wasn't even on the floor today. I feel like that happens a lot with the Wolves, but like wasn't really. It doesn't really feel like a guy who's gonna be that playable in this series. He's kind of small. He really can't put any pressure. Like again, like there's a lot of players that on the Minnesota's team that really struggle. And I know Nas Reed went off against the Thunder in the regular season, but he was horrible today. And it was mainly because again, the Thunder have now adjusted to that. They have a lot more. They're now fully healthy. They can put all their guys on read. They can pressure him with guards, and you can tell there's a big difference in the game plan. Mark coached a brilliant game today. Mark coached a brilliant game. I mean, he did so many things right. Pulled out iHeart, brought in basically everything you mentioned. Power of hoops, right? Um, Bringing Hardenstein out the game. And Hardenstein didn't even play too bad in my opinion. But the thing was, when you put Chet at the five, it completely You completely opened the game defensively. You completely shut down everything Denver had. When you had two bigs in the game, at least Jaden McDaniels could get some momentum off screens because Chet really can't stick on the perimeter. Once you had Chet at the five, they were lost in terms of what they wanted to do. And Chet played a brilliant game defensively. One of my favorite games from him all year. I mean, all postseason defensively. He played great and drop, took away and pulled up for you whenever he was in action. I don't feel like he let a lot of easy rolls to the rim. He was good off the ball. Just really good stuff from Chet. I know he had a rough first quarter, but like outside of that, like it was good. Double big is an adversity gimmick. No, like double big. Honestly, like I talked about it yesterday, just talking about the series. I don't really know if double big is gonna be the move. I'm fine that they tried it, but I think Mark is clear. I think Mark clearly understood, like, yo, we can just win this series by just playing Chet at the five. So Chet only played 25 minutes today, and I think it's because he got pulled early in the first quarter. I think actually the first half was a lot of iHeart single big minutes, and the second half was completely just Chet at the 5 minutes. So you can alternate a lot. I just don't think you play both of them together. But yeah, I don't understand. The Wolves were basically telling Shai and JDub, but not Shai and JDub, the entire Thunder team, just beat us off pull up twos. We're gonna give you the middle of the floor, and we're gonna make sure that you have to beat us off pull up twos off the catch. And I think Dallas did that in our series against them, and it worked against our role players. But like for I think this could be a big series for Shai and J-Dub if they keep these man to man coverages like this, because they're basically playing into their comfort zone. And again, Minnesota didn't play a terrible defensive game plan today. I mean, Thunder scored really well, 114, but um, by all means, it wasn't like a dominant offensive performance. Even when we shot pretty good on low volume of 3 pointers. So we'll see. We'll see if Minnesota gets out of this coverage or not. But yeah, that's another thing. They didn't shoot. They didn't shoot really any bad shots all game. I think outside of Shea, they shot 11 of 17 from free, and obviously that's not sustainable. Obviously, but like it's also because they were constantly putting the Wolves in rotation. They were constantly pressuring off the ball. Well, no, Alex, the technical fouls they reset um for the playoffs, and we'll be fine. He won't get suspended. Yeah, we can talk about Jada, bro, because I mean, it honestly still is possible. I don't know about top 10. I don't think top 10 is possible just by his limitations, but he can still be like a top 15 player because his defense might be tier one out of like outside of like the Wembanyama's of the world, right? The top defensive bigs. Um, he was able to switch on Ant, completely do good against him on switches. He was able to play Randall in the post. He was flying around. He's offering you off ball resistance. He's playing the passing lanes. I don't know how many steals he had, but I felt like he had 3 or 4. J-Dub had 5 steals. My bad. J-Dub had 5 steals today. Yeah, I felt like a good amount. He had 5 steals today, and he that perfectly captures how good of a defensive game he had. Just completely had his hands everywhere. It's kind of crazy it took this long, not this long, but like it's kind of crazy like J-Dub wasn't like an outstanding defender his first 2 years, and now in year 3, he's practically become maybe the best wing defender in basketball. And whatever criticisms you have about J-Dub, the fact that you can arguably be playing the best wing defender in basketball, who's also giving you something on offensive end, and sometimes is your second start on some nights, that is an insane um, additive that a lot of teams don't have. Like when you look at some of the top defensive wings, who look like Amen Thompson, Herb Jones, Asar, like JDub being this good offensively with this defensive impact is still absurd. Yeah, we could talk about Shea real quick. First of all, I'll talk about this. The Shea foul grifting, the crying about it is insufferable. And for Thunder fans out there, it's not gonna stop ever. It's never gonna stop. It became way too big. So just ignore it. I will say the ESPN broadcast today was horrible. It was horrible today because I understand like sometimes you want to apply your opinion, apply your whatever your 2 cents in, but like Doris Burke and Richard Jefferson, no matter what Shea did, they'll be like Shea's selling the call. Shea's so good at drawing fouls. It almost felt like a backhand compliment the entire game. And in the first half that was fair, right? But like second half, Shea got it going, and they're still talking about this. Like, I don't like that from the ESPN broadcast. But the RJ, I love it too. I love being the villain, bro. Like the fact that a team in Oklahoma City is not a villain. Like when in the Russ and Katie era, the Thunder were never the villain. They were kind of always like, I think Russ and Katie were two players that a lot of people outside of Thunder fans rooted for. But now it kind of feels like Oklahoma, like basically everyone outside of Oklahoma City wants to see the Thunder kind of fail or Shea fail. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. It's a different feeling for a Thunder team. Usually they're like to feel a good story. Um, yeah, calling him a free throw merchant on live TV, like let's grow up, man. Let's grow up. Um, I think I just got a notification. This is gonna be interesting to see. Hold up. Mike Malone after game one. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he showed why he's the MVP. Hey, that's Nikola Jokic's guy right there. That's Jokic's guy right there, saying it yourself. Um, and then second half, Shea adjusted perfectly. Like I do agree, Shea was definitely grifting for a foul in the first half. But if you've watched Thunder versus Wolves matchups in the past, this isn't something that you should be kind of shocked about because the Wolves are obviously an aggressive defense, so Shea just exploits that. Shea's just gonna draw some fouls early on, establish the whistle, establish everything, right? And look, now Shea in second half, he got to his spots, he played in rhythm. Also, also let's talk about this. Shea is a playmaker, has grown so much just in a few weeks in the playoffs. Um I've not talked about it enough, but like since probably I think trying to say maybe game 4, game 5 against Denver, he's hit a completely different gear as a playmaker. He had 9 assists today. Felt like it could be more again, but he's truly an offensive engine now. And I don't know if I was very lucky. I would say the Wolves definitely shot little bit worse than they did, but like end of the day, I don't think that would have really mattered. Like they just weren't able to get a score inside the paint. Like they only had 14 2-point makes all game. Yeah, she had 20 potential assists in game 7, which was the highest. I think one of the highest all postseason, like top 6 or 7 highest in the postseason. And he only got 4 assists out of that in game 7. But again, who cares? They won the game and he was very clearly good. And I think Shea played a very good game in that second half. Like beyond just the ridiculous end one. I don't know how he made that end one. Shea's flexibility is insane. Beyond that, um, I thought he was again really good playmaker. I think Kenrich Williams got like 2 wide open threes just off of Shea playmaking and drawing the 2 defenders in. Oh, and I haven't even mentioned Caruso, bro, but Caruso again on Randall, fighting off the ball. Like he blows up so many actions. I cannot believe they got him for such a. I'm not gonna disrespect Giddy here. Giddy's done his thing in Chicago, but like going from a player that you weren't even comfortable playing in the playoffs to getting like maybe one of your top 4 players this postseason, maybe arguably second, right? In Caruso is absurd to get. Um, let's talk about this, right? Casey Wallace played 33 minutes today. People are saying that power hoops. I don't know. Casey Wallace played more minutes today than Lou Dort. and that's definitely noticeable. For one, again, I don't think I feel like I've been saying this after almost every game. I don't think Dort has been that great this postseason on both ends. I do think today he was pretty solid off the ball when he was on, and again he had some plays on Randall like I mentioned earlier, but Kaysen was much better. Kaysen was absolutely insane on Edwards, like, and try to rescreen like 2 3 times, and Kaysen would just be right on him. Kaysen was sitting on that completely, so I don't know if you want to start Kaysen for the rest of the series or not start Kaysen, but like play him higher minutes. They're not going to change the starting lineup. I want that to be clear, but like this could just be a minute where Lou Dort's minutes just continually go down and down, and he's just like a spot starter, and Kaysen just continues getting these minutes. Like I think Kaysen played like 15 straight minutes at one point this game. I think end of first quarter to end of second quarter, Kaysen played all those minutes. Again, just a crazy defensive guy just for off the bench. Shea's first half was really bad. Shea's first half was really bad. He was blowing bunnies. I think McDaniels did a really good job on him. But again, Shea can get them in foul trouble so easily, and Shea can get switches off McDaniels also. So again, I'm not too worried. But I think that is interesting that McDaniels did do a pretty good job today, because in the past Shea's been pretty comfortable against him. McDaniels definitely had some moments where he made him uncomfortable. So no, Chet was great in the end of the second half. He also in the first half first half he was pretty rough, especially offensively. But he had that one turnaround midi on Gobert, and he's actually had some okay solid success like attacking Gobert off closeouts, like either getting him all the way to the rim or getting that mid range. It's happened in those few games, and that just adds another layer to the offense. Obviously, um, Hardenstein was Hardenstein was really good with those floaters today. He had one crazy take on Gobert. I don't know why some of these Thunder players were just trying to throw it up on the glass against Rudy and just try to attack him. But outside of that, Hardenstein was great. Start one big man and then that could be the move. That could just be the move. Like, just I wouldn't be shocked if Mark's just comfortable doing that. I know they don't like changing starting lineups a lot. They really they really like to keep like a cohesion now with this core. You saw a lot today. They didn't bench Giddy until like game 5 of the playoffs. But I wouldn't be shocked because like Chet subbed out 3 minutes in or 2 minutes in the first quarter. Hardenstein subbed out a few minutes into the third quarter. So like I don't think it matters at this point. Yeah, Hardenstein was nice. Yeah, Hardenstein was nice. And then Shea's second half stats. I mean, 8 of 14 shooting. This Shea picture was so iconic, by the way. I love how I'll say one thing I loved about ESPN today. This showed like the locker room interviews and stuff. I mean, and like the halftime speeches, which was really cool. I feel like we never get that exclusive footage. Just being a Thunder fan, they're really like tied in on that type of stuff. I think it's fine because like RJ, because like when Gobert's in the game, I honestly disagree. I honestly disagree because when Gobert's in the game, if you put an extra guard, you just have an extra like fast guy who forces Rudy to think, right? Like imagine if you have Caruso in there. Caruso can just swipe down on Gobert off digging. Caruso can just be flying around and force him to make a tough decision. Like I think just playing enough speed and guards um is the best thing. I don't care about Nuggets fans, man. They can go. Like their season's over, man. I might care a little bit about Wolves fans, but like I just truly can't care. Yeah, let's talk. So we talked about like for 1 minute earlier, but like Mark seriously like to he we talked about. I'm sorry, I cannot speak right now. I'm sorry, but last series we talked about how Mark was really set on playing these 8 or 9 guys. He didn't play much at all. He didn't play Kenrich much at all. This series, he starts off with showing a bunch of different looks. He played Kenrich small ball five. Um, in the third quarter, Thunder Wolves in like the New Year's Eve game, Kenrich completely capped a load, like helped start a run. playing the small ball five. So he tried that today. It helped completely. Of course, it's not really a matchup for J Will. He just doesn't really offer anything that you don't get from one of your other bigs. So now you just play Kenny as a small ball five, and it was really really fun. I love that. I love that Loki was hitting his shots. Kenny's Loki being a really underrated good shooter this year. It's because he hasn't played much, obviously, and like he's like our 10th guy. But Kenrich has been like a 40% shooter this year. He's improved his free throw. I don't know if you guys remember, but Kenrich was an awful free throw shooter for a long time. He was only shooting like 40% from the line. Now he's like an 80% guy. He hit that long mid range with like he's been a really good shooter this year, and he had a few opportunities today. Shade collapsed the defense, gets him some open looks. You know, I love that. That's another thing. Power Hoops, like it kind of felt like Kenrich was gonna be like he was just taking like a assistant coach like type of approach to the playoffs. You know, he barely ever played, but he played big minutes today, man. Like that swung the game. That swung the game. In his 9 minutes today, Kenrich's small ball was a plus 19. I'm gonna tweet that, but like, that's insane. That completely swung the game. That I love that mid range was so fun, man. I wanted that him for. Kenrich Loki has a bag on those mid ranges, bro. Like as a joke, I call him Carmelo. Like, but like he kind of does have that bag. That post up mid range or like that step back midi. Whenever you have like delayed of shot clock, there's nothing to do. I trust Kenrich in those situations. He's gonna get like a decent look up every time. Um, I thought JDub offensively in the second half was really good. I will say, I will say they still need to really JDub and Shea because like they're the only players who really have ever done it. But like they need to seriously start shooting some more pull up threes. I don't know how Shea got 4 3-point shots up. I felt like he. I remember the half court one. Oh, he had like two like end of the shot clock, so it didn't really count. But Shea and JDub, they're just giving the pull up three every single time off these screens. I think Shea is not a great pull up shooter off screens, but I think JDub definitely can shoot that. So I would like him to be a little more aggressive, get his 3-point volume a little up. Just cut out those long middies. There was still a few ugly possessions with JDub, but you gotta live with it. But for the most part, like he was getting downhill a good amount. Um, I don't remember him turning the ball over much. He had 0 turnovers. Yeah, very efficient with the ball. How do I feel about the foul call Shea gets? I got a tweet for you, man. Um, Kalen Cooper, SJ, who plays basketball like a human slinky, gets a different whistle than everyone else in the league because he moves differently than everyone else in the league. 90% of Shea's fouls are because he gets a defender by his hip or he gets a defender jumping or reaching. Be- he gets so many fouls because defenders are not used to guarding a player like him. It's like it's very simple. I don't understand. Like, for example, whoever asked the question, if it was so simple of getting fouls that all you had to do was just flop, all you had to do was head snap, all you had to do was, exaggerate contact. Don't you think every star in the league would be doing that? Because deep down, you can say whatever they want to be ethical or not. These stars, they want to get their points. They want to help their teams win games. They want to get 30 points. They want to have a high offensive floor. But they don't do that. Not every star is crafty. Like Anthony Edwards cannot draw fouls like that because he plays a very north and south game. He doesn't really bend on drives. He doesn't really like beat you with his handle. He doesn't beat you with craft. The most crafty players in the league right now are Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Brunson. So they're objectively just gonna put the defender in more positions where you're gonna have to foul them. So I don't have anything else to say about Shai's whistle, but you guys can cry about it. Like, cool. If you seriously think it's unwatchable, I just think you have to check your eyes because if you look at the process of how he draws fouls, it's really just him beating his guy and then him putting his defender in a bad position and then him drawing a foul. Sometimes he'll seek it. I think today in the first half he was definitely shameful about that. I did not like the first half from Shai. So if you wanted me to answer that, sure. I think the first half from Shai, he was 100% doing way too much, um, trying to seek the foul. You watch the entire Nuggets series, Shai never did that. You watch the second half today, Shai was not doing that. You know, it's like whatever. Like he'll do it for like a few minutes, maybe every few games. That should not make you ruin watching a player. No one really cares. All right, that's the only thing say about fouls. I don't care that much about it. Um, I don't think Shai will need to get these calls next game. I think he's found his groove. He was much better in the second half. I also don't think I think like most of the shots he was missing in the first half were just in isolation, and I just trust Shai to figure it out. You know, he's the best isolation player in the world. He'll figure it out. When Shai plays good, no one gives him flowers, but when he shoots free throws, yeah, yeah. I mean, Shai played a great game seven. Shai played a great game six. Shai played a great game five, and it was like five tweets or like five like people like outside the Thunder fan base talking about it. He has a few free throws. It's the end of the world. It's whatever, you know. It's whatever. All he can do is win a championship. But if he wins a championship, dude, like what are they really gonna say? You know, like he gets 30 points per game on a championship run. Who cares? Like whatever. They can keep crying about that. I'm trying to think. ESPN broadcast was bad. Yeah, 100% man. How many turnovers did the Thunder have today? Only 12. Yeah, it really felt like outside. Like I think the first quarter was when they had like most of their turnovers. They're playing a bit fast, but outside of that, they were really efficient with the ball. And I think Timberwolves had at least 20, right? 22? No, that's for some fouls. 17. 17. They had like what 10, 12 turnovers in the first half. I think in the fourth quarter they were pretty fine, but like that was really why the Thunder were able to keep pace in the first half. They were really bad in the half court offensively. Um, Wolves were shooting really good in the first half, especially Randall. I mean, Randall shot 5 of 6, right? So turnovers will always keep the Thunder in the game, and I think that's why Presti built this type of team. You know, you have now one of the best offensive players in the world, second or third, maybe one, whoever you want to argue with, and then you have like a great defense. So no matter what, you have like the end game offense, and you have like the timely shot making from Shai, and then you have like the all time great defense to back it to always keep you in games. I'm like this roster construction is really fun to watch. It's really fun to watch. The fans were great today. Nick Wright's thing was hilarious. We can talk about that. Like, he blatantly said he just doesn't like the Thunder, and like, whatever. Like, I'm happy more he blatantly said it instead of just lying. Like, it's better to know now than later, but it's good to know. You know, like a lot of people don't like them for a lot of reasons, and it's really just like the fact they're the overwhelming favorites. They came out of nowhere, and then Shai's threatening other players' legacies. That's really all it comes from. If people wonder why they're hated, like look back at Boston last year. I mean, Golden State when they were really good in 2015, 2016, people hated them for illegal screens. Like look at it, they hated Golden State for illegal screens. They hated Boston for shooting too many threes, and they hate the Thunder because they're too physical and Shai gets too many fouls. So there's nothing they specifically hate. They just find something new to hate about each team. But talking about the series though, like it almost felt like Anthony Edwards was not out there for like outside like he had like the one flurry in the first quarter. I don't know if it's first quarter or second quarter. So sometime in the first half, he had like those back to back buckets. But like outside of that, they were denying the ball so well. And again, it was Case in a lot. He just wasn't comfortable getting downhill. I just think this is a really favorable matchup for the Thunder defensively. And I know that comes without saying how good they are defensively already, but like and Randall, I feel like they're two slower processor players. They're not players who really again they're not like Luka or Jokic where there's only you have to kind of give something. I feel like with Ant and Edwards, you can kind of control what they're gonna do, and that obviously plays in their favor when you have such a good defense. Like I just truly can't see how either of them really get their self creation off. Like again, Randall and Ant can hit 3 pointers off. They're both Randall's hitting great 3 point. Randall's being a great 3 point shooter. Ant's already like one of the top 3 point shooters in the world. Outside of that, I don't know how they score in the paint much. Yeah. Also, Ant just he gets into the game so much too much at times. You saw him like push Shea and then like smile. He threw the ball at Shea after fouling him. Like he'll have his moments. I do wonder if we're gonna get that Shea moment, like in terms of like one of the Wolves players getting into Shea's face because they do that a lot. Like Wolves players are, you know, they're very. It's in a very aggressive team. It's a very outspoken team. So like we're probably gonna get like a moment where Shea's probably gonna, which is very rare, obviously for Shea. Like but you can already tell like there's something already starting here. They've already have history in the past. The throwing the ball at Shea is hilarious, and then doing nothing else for the rest of the game. What were the Thunder in the second half? They were like I don't, they were down 4.5, right? And then they won by 26. The Thunder were a plus 30 in the second half. Damn. Yeah, the Wolves are gonna try to aggravate Shea. The Wolves are gonna try to frustrate Shea. And the one thing is game two will be fun. Game two will be fun. I mean, all the games in the series will be fun. Game three is when the mental tactics will really start. You're gonna be in Minnesota, and you already know Minnesota's gonna. I can show the play. Um, Here, you see this? Like for no reason, he like just after a play, he just threw the ball back at Shea. I don't really understand. Yeah, so they're gonna call Shea a free throw merchant. You can already know. Game three, game four, whenever in Minnesota, that's gonna be funny to watch. But it's really hard to fluster that guy. That guy's like it's basically a Kawhi thing, you know. You're low key just yeah, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Yeah, Bryce, that's crazy. Every time I see it, every time I see it, it's so crazy. Like I can't believe that. Like I think it was Gobert who elbowed him, right? And he still has that scar. Wilson, like you should be able to. It depends on what it is, obviously. If it's Thunder related, it should be fine. It's not to like an external side or anything. It should be fine. And it's so love for what? Because people love a few things. They love charismatic players. He's very outspoken. He trash talks a lot. Um, he gets cool posters. I get why like they like. I get why they like Ant. I don't get why they don't like Shea in terms of personality. You know what I'm trying to say? I think Ant's likable. I like Ant too. I mean, he's probably gonna get on my nerves sometimes in this series. That's just how it goes when you're playing against another star. He kind of is an Instagram player. But it is crazy though. Shea played so bad this game, and he was still like light years above Edwards. If we're looking head to head, he's also one of the few American superstars. Yeah, I'm being ready to start Caruso. It doesn't even have to be Caruso at this point. It can be Kaysen. And either if you want to do it for Dort, I don't think you have to. I think it's really just like go single big, and then start one of the defensive guards, and then you can make substitutions outside of that. But yeah, salty fans are very funny. I will say it's funny. Hold up. Was it a Bill Simmons tweet? I'm trying to find. I think there's a Bill Simmons tweet, right? Bill Simmons. He tweeted about Shea too. That was very funny. It's probably got 25,000 likes. Like no, yeah. Ants play style is fun to watch. They're basically like kind of polar opposites. Um, one's more flashy. One's more high pace. Shade's more like a Bill said, okay, I can go back to Bill if you guys didn't see it. I don't care who wins this game. The touch foul calls that Shea gets are really awful. They don't resemble anything else that's happening in the playoffs. So I'm quoting this right now. But like, when people say stuff like this, I really don't understand what they're trying to say because like, is Shea good at getting fouls or they're trying to? I guess they're trying to imply that they don't resemble anything else that's happening. Like that they're only giving Shea these calls. Like what does that even mean? Like do you think the refs decided that we're gonna give Shea a more lenient whistle, and not give them to certain superstars? Like that's just not how it works. He's just making sure he actually gets fouled. He's like putting himself in situations where he's gonna get fouled. Like just a very dumb. It's just a very like dumb way of thinking. I just don't understand how someone can actually think that's a thing. Like you're basically saying the league is rigged if like certain refs are giving certain players certain calls. Like sure, there's a superstar whistle versus star, but like if you think like Ant versus Shea are gonna get different whistles because of the ref's bias or something, like I don't know. All right, it's a narrative just because they need to find some narrative to hate him about. And I usually don't care. Like you guys know my Twitter account. I don't really like quote tweet over fan bases. I don't quote tweet a lot of Thunder hate. I'm just like mainly keeping what it is, right? Thunder stuff. But what pisses me off is when like people with platforms like media, like you talk about Nick Wright, you talk about Bill Simmons, like people influence others and then just start saying bullshit. Like that's not right. Like I just don't know. Do you think the NBA wants like their star to be a Canadian from Oklahoma City? Like no, they're fine with it probably, but like they're not gonna tell the refs make sure he wins every game. It's not that situation. Yeah, sports media has been really bad. That's another funny thing, RJ. The Thunder just don't complain about calls at all, and this is not coming from a sorry. This is not coming from a biased standpoint. They just don't complain about calls. Like Marcus never complained about calls. Shade never complained about calls. Like if you get frustrated about a player like Luca, right? Like Luca, he'll sometimes get the calls, but he'll also complain about it every single time. The Thunder just get handed whatever they just get whatever cards they're dealt with, and they're fine with it. They don't complain about it. They don't they just don't do anything about it. Like yeah, if Shea complained every play, I would be fine. Shea's probably complained like twice in his life. He's got like zero technicals, like from actual on court reasons. Like this one technical was like stepping on the floor. Huge win, man. Huge win. We can talk about Joe real quick. Joe played a lot more in the. I don't know if he played in the second, much of the second half, but first half, Mark loved Joe next to Shea, and I think 12, 30, 13 minutes is a perfect number for him. Just give him 13, 15 minutes, play him next to Shea. I think there was like um one or two times Shea got some extra space just off drives, just because Joe was the one next to him. That's all you really need him to play. I'm pushed for Joe like the last week or two. It's not because I think Joe's some game changer, right? But like he just gives you that extra look offensively, and also the boards. Yeah, Joe for some reason has been really good on the boards for his entire Thunder tenure. Like he's been really good at getting those loose balls. He's honestly pretty good at just doing like all the little things, which is kind of funny. You wouldn't really expect from a shooter. What are your thoughts on this series after this game? Easier or harder than expected? So I said Thunder in six yesterday on the stream, but I talked about it with some other people like later that night and this morning. I was like, I felt a little more comfortable. I was like, I honestly could see this being like a 5 game, more of a 5 game situation. And I think that's probably what I'm leaning to right now. Like the Wolves do have some things they do pretty well against the Thunder, and certain they're gonna adjust pretty well. Finch is a good playoff coach, but end of the day, the Thunder can control all of these games just because of how Ant and Randall play. They don't put you in some horrible position where where you're gonna feel like in scramble mode, like Jokic or Luka. It's too early to make. Yeah, Mohit just said it's too early to like feel extremely confident. But like everything I saw today, like just you're thinking Thunder in seven. Yeah, I'm thinking 5 or 6, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, the Thunder definitely did shoot also really well today, and I also want to see what Minnesota does defensively because they played man most of today, and like I said before, the Thunder are pretty comfortable playing out of man coverages. But same things, Wolves are also really comfortable just playing man the entire game. So it's kind of like they kind of match each other pretty well, you know. So Scott OKC, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the Mavericks beat the Wolves in 5 games, and I think that's a pretty realistic outcome for this type of series too. I think that's pretty fair. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw Kenrich coming, I felt a little conflicted. I was really just interested about Mark's thought process. I was like, I think game one I was kind of expecting him to give a few different looks. It's like a new slate, right? You're playing a completely different team. I did not expect Kenrich because he just never has trusted Kenrich. Like no matter the series, I think we're like 4 playoff series in, right? Memphis, New Orleans, uh, Memphis, New Orleans, Denver, Dallas, 4 playoff series, and that Kenrich has got run in basically none of them. So I was shocked for that part, but it did make a lot of sense. Why did we take so little 3 pointers? Do you think? For some reason, I think that was a Wolves game plan. Um, it's a mix of both. Okay, I should know. I wouldn't say it's a game plan. I'll say it's a mix of both, right? So for one, I think it starts with Shea, right? It starts with Shea and JDub. They're gonna be handling the ball for most of the time. So where the ball goes depends on where they're looking at. And I think I tweeted it out. Shea's looking to make the interior pass a lot more. Shea's trying to get the ball to Hartenstein and Chet around the rim a lot more. I think that's why they both scored like pretty efficiently today. They got a lot of looks inside. So I think that's one thing. What Shea's not automatically just kicking out on every drive. He's not looking to do that every drive. So they're gonna shoot less 3 pointers now. They're gonna get more inside looks. And the second thing, I do think the Wolves were just trying to run them off the line a lot, and that left a lot of pull up twos, a lot of drives, um, for the Thunder to play off of. And again, I think they did a fine job of doing it today. But 21 3 pointers is kind of like I kind of can't really explain it. 21 is insane. That's like it's not just a low number. That's a historically low number for this era. So I don't know. I'll have to look back. I think it's a mix of both though. It's Shea and Jada looking more inside, and then Minnesota is trying to run us off the line. It's so crazy when we play big. We win this big. We play from perfect on defense. Yeah, this defense is having one of the greatest defensive runs ever. Like someone tweeted it the other day. The gap between the number one defense and number two defense in the playoffs is the biggest it's ever been since 1971. And the Thunder have also had historic defensive stats during the regular season. Now they're having a historic playoff run defensively. Like no matter what, especially when the Thunder win the championship, like this will be remembered as like one of the or maybe the greatest defense ever. Like personnel wise, schematic wise, like Mark is a defensive mastermind. He puts them in such good positions, and then Kaysen and Caruso like just mess up so many actions. It's really just those two, man. Those two are like the ones that push you off the edge. Like you can live with J Dub. Yeah, sure, Wilson. Just let me know the clip. I got you. Did Chris Finch have his? I don't see the link, man. That sucks. I don't see the link. No, I can't. That sucks. You can let me know the tweet, Wilson. I'll probably find it if it's a tweet or something like that. Um, Wolves shooting. So is there anything about the Wolves crying about the refs or Chris Finch? I haven't seen anything yet. I haven't been on my phone, but like, is there anything about that? Has anyone seen something? Have they done a post game yet? No, the Wolves were not attacking the paint at all today, and whenever they did, it looked pretty bad. So Thunder had a really solid offensive rating today. Full court pass. Okay, full court pass. I can't spell. All right. Oh, they can be laughing at anything, but Finch didn't complain. That's good. I think Mark saying whatever he did, I think it definitely like I don't know. I don't know if it humbled them, but like it would be kind of hilarious if Chris Finch went out and complained about the refs. Um, if if what do you call it? If Chris Finch complained about the refs after what Mark and everyone said about them. Yeah, I'm just tired about the ref stuff. I'm just tired about the ref stuff, like good or bad. Like I'm just tired of it. Like I just don't care about refs this much. Like, can we get it back to basketball? Like it's really annoying. Like there's so many things that happen in a basketball game that um the refs have no influence on. Like, can we start talking about that? Yeah, yeah. I'm very proud of Chris Finch for not complaining. No, it's tiring, but I just hate it from like every single side. Like it's because like it kind of feels like even I'm talking about the refs so much. I feel like I've talked about the refs or something related to it for like 15 minutes right now, and I've just never liked talking about that. It's just very, like what else can you say about it? It's like humans make mistakes. No, yeah, exactly. Every 3-pointer we took, we shot 51%, but like or 52, but like every single one was wide open outside of the Shea ones. Um, Caruso's been really starting to hit. I think he's shooting 45% from free this postseason. Maybe 46 after today because if he went free for free. But like he's starting to become very comfortable in those shots. Door needs to start hitting that one door free pointer. That one door free pointer he shot early in the shot clock. Um, was completely insane. Yeah, yeah. Mini falling apart after the first half. It just didn't feel like they were doing anything that was. It truly just didn't feel like they were doing much right. Like the fact they were only up four after the Thunder just completely messed up their the Thunder's half court process was so bad. Like it kind of felt like no matter what, the Thunder couldn't do worse, and the Wolves really didn't look like they had much room for improvement offensively. Like it was pretty. I felt pretty good about the game the entire time. Dylan Jones has got more points. What changes will Minnesota make? Yeah, that was one of the first things I talked about. Like compared to other series, this doesn't feel like Minnesota has much more options just because of how. I mean, who they rely on offense. I guess I guess they can try to. They just don't play Nickel and like these other like Nickel and Clark. They kind of just cut completely their minutes. I think they're really damaging offensively because I mean the Thunder just completely left them open, and also just like didn't respect the closeout. So like if you cut those minutes out, just try to. I guess you just go really big, right? Just play. You have to play Gobert more than 21 minutes. I know he was rough offensively, but like he was the only reason why the did Gobert have foul trouble? I mean, he had four fouls. He, wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. He only had two fouls. Yeah, I don't really get the decision to play him 21 minutes because like, he was the only one giving them like good rim protection defensively, obviously. So it's kind of like they have to pick their poison. Either you play Nas at the five and you let the Thunder get comfortable offensively, or you play Gobert and then their offense kind of crumbles with him on the floor. So again, not a lot of good options for them in terms of lineups he can run. Maybe they even try going McDaniels at the five. I don't really know at this point. I guess you can play. I guess you can play McDaniels at the five or just like these really small lineups. Like if the Thunder go single big, but it's really tough if the Thunder go Hartenstein and Chet. You know, if the Thunder start going Chet at the five, then the Wolves can match by just putting Randall or McDaniels at the five. Just play these ultra fast lineups and try to, I guess, like outpace the Thunder somehow. Yeah, Chris Finch has not had trust in Gobert at all this year. I guess I want to say we played him off the floor, but like I just didn't think he played bad enough to warrant that. It kind of just felt like I don't know. I still felt like he gave them the best chance. I gotta mute the term fouls and foul merchant. Yeah, yeah. I just tweeted about it. Hold up. This like you guys care about the rest too much. Last series felt like we were adjusting to the Nuggets. Felt like the Wolves are playing based on our personnel. That is probably like one of the most truest things I've most truest things. It's one of the most true things I've heard, honestly. Like, and I talked about that right during the Nuggets series. Like, we are dictating our lineups. We're dictating what we're gonna do based on how the Nuggets are playing, based on who the Nuggets are playing. Now it feels like Minnesota's playing catch up to us. Like even though we won the Nuggets series, it kind of felt like we lost it in terms of controlling these games. Like from game 4, 5, and 6, the Thunder really had no control. They just got some good end of game execution, but like now it really feels like Minnesota's playing catch up on how do you score against us, right? It kind of feels like how I expected most teams to play against us. You know, you think Chet's gonna get love in his hometown? Uh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think nah, nah. I I don't think it means enough to the city at least right now to the point where they'll disregard that. No. All I know is those shade chants are gonna be like insane. Those shade chants are gonna be insane, and I'm gonna be ready for that because I know Shay's gonna respond to them somehow, some way. But yeah, Shay's gonna get a very fun welcome there. Yeah, Nugget series really helped us grow up. Like from the coaching staff, from being able to play against zone, um, from being able to play different lineups, from being able to play. That's another thing. We're so used to playing against post defense now, and how many post players are there in the NBA, right? And we played Jaren Jackson round one, we played Jokic round two, and now we're gonna play Randall round three. Most teams actually don't rely on post up offense in any way. Like, what if the Thunder played the Lakers or played Golden State or something like that? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they're playing against some teams that rely a lot on like they rely a lot on these post scorers. So like now they're very used to playing this style of defense and helping out of it. I don't understand why the Wolves play like the Celtics today. It's because the Thunder had the rim shut off. That Chet's rim deterrence today was really good. And when I mean rim deterrence, I mean like forcing Minnesota away from the paint, forcing the players away from the paint, stuff like that. By the way, guys, if you guys haven't already, I'd appreciate if you guys like this stream. And obviously, subscribe if you haven't already. Um, yeah, no, like the defense was consistently good. Back to back halves where I think Minnesota scored. I want to say the Minnesota scored 44 points in the first half, something like that. Scored 44 in the second half, like something around there. Where they scored like 45, 46 in each half, and that's really hard to do to hold two defensive halves with a 90 defensive rating in today's NBA, especially against a team that's prepared to play you, and it just keeps pushing to the point where how historic this defense is, how different 44 both half, yeah, both halves, yeah, that's insane. Now Randall's first half, bro, that one free pointer, you guys know which one I'm talking about, like the one where the catch and shoot 35, 32, 33 footer, that was insane. This is by far the best defense Ant has ever played. I don't think Ant's ever really played like a. Has Ant even played a good defense before? Like honestly. Oh, he played Dallas, right? And then he struggled against Dallas. Like Ant's really never played good against a good defense, I would say. And this was obviously a different level. Yeah, Kenrich helped you steal the game. Not steal the game. Kenrich helped you like escape with the game in that third quarter, end of second quarter. Yeah, yeah, okay, 48-40. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was 44-44, but that might have been. Yeah, a lot of Thunder Twitter people out there for the conference finals today. It was really nice to see. I'll try to I'll try somehow somewhere to get there if they make the finals, but I don't know honestly. That's a lot of money. I don't know if I'm gonna do that, but it's really nice to see a lot of like the non Oklahoma Thunder fans get out there. The amount of 21 plus, yeah, yeah. Like the Thunder have not been. I'm not gonna jinx it, but like we're now what? So 4 games round one, 7 games. Oh, we can go back to last year. We can go back to last year actually, right? So they played 4 games against the Pels, 4 games against the Pels, 4 games against Memphis. That's 8 games. 6 against Dallas. That's 14. 7 against Denver. That's 21. Today's game, 22. 22 games, and the Thunder have never been blown out in the playoffs. Never. And all of their losses have been clutch time losses. Um, and then all of their and then they've had a few blowout wins. Obviously, like I think like 6 or 7 blowout wins in there. So I'm fine from Washington, Bryce. But again, I don't know if I am. Yeah, so yeah, 20, 21, 22 playoff games, not blown out once. And then it speaks to like how high the floor of this team is with this defense. Like you're always gonna be in the game. Which is why, like, let's talk beyond this year, Lord. Let's get greedy for a second, you know? Like beyond this year, no matter what, the Thunder will almost always like as long as they have Shea and Mark and a few other defensive pieces around them, they'll always have a chance in any playoff series, in any playoff game, just because no matter what, they're gonna be able to keep the games close. Yeah, Bryce. Yeah, Joe still needs to find his groove. I thought Joe was pretty solid today. I thought Joe was pretty solid today in his minutes. Um, he had a 1 3 pointer right next to Shea, which he did pretty nice against. I love to switch to small ball. Yeah, I just love him Mark being open to different options. That's the main thing. I hate when coaches become stubborn to certain lineups. Like Mark could have easily played double big for like 6 7 minutes in that first quarter, like he usually does. He subs Chet out in 3 minutes, and those are the little things. Who knows? Like I think Minnesota went up 8-0, right? If you keep Chet at the double big lineup in for a few minutes longer, maybe Minnesota gets a good grasp on this game and they're playing catch up. As much as our defense is generational, it's mainly because our small ball defense has really never been. Yeah, I, Arvand, I think that's a really good point because the Thunder's defense in a way is kind of revolutionary. Like I don't know if revolutionary is the right word, but like playing with speed, playing with all these small guys, and using these small guys as like post up defenders, using these small guys to disrupt passing lanes. Like I think Ben Taylor again. I keep talking about him. He had this video about horizontal defense. Like vertical defense is when you're at the rim contesting, like what Chet and Hardenstein are doing. Horizontal defense is like just by defending with speed, defending by being able to just run across the floor and cover so much ground just with speed. That's what you have of Crusoe, JDub, Dort, Case and Wallace, even Shea, right? Shea's a pretty fast player, and Shea can make those closeouts too. Yeah, like it, it's a complete opposite. Like, and it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy that we're playing double big so much, considering how good our small ball defense is. And this is why I also think we're not gonna play small ball defense. Uh, I mean not small ball, double big defense that much going forward. I think it was really just a Denver thing. Like against Memphis, we played it like a solid amount, but like we didn't do much. No, I agree, Scott. I definitely think that the Denver series was a pretty tough. Might have been a tougher matchup. Yeah, I feel bad because people just say they're fouling so much. Shai's a foul baiter. Shai's a flopper. You're watching one of the like, you're watching a game changing defense or watching an offensive player who is a game breaking shot maker, who's a game breaking shot creator, and you're just not appreciating it. It's fine. It's fine. You can only do it for so long, you know? Like, if you don't appreciate them right now, maybe in 2 weeks when they beat the Wolves, you do. Maybe if you don't appreciate them now, you're gonna appreciate them in a month when they win the championship. If you still don't appreciate them, maybe you do next year if they repeat. You know, it's eventually gonna happen, right? Like as long as the Thunder remain great, the respect is gonna come. So like, I don't think Thunder fans need to like just chase for it, right? Or like get this validation from other fans. You know, it's gonna come. It's gonna come, right? Like it happened with Golden State. Everyone remembers how much you hated Golden State, but you can't seriously come here and say you don't appreciate what they did, how much they changed the game, how fun they were to watch. Like looking back from it, right? Like it's all those things. You might hate it right now, but in a few years from now, you're gonna have a much different opinion on it. Yeah, there's a lot of good things for media to talk about. There's a lot of good things. Small ball, horizontal defense being this good is a testament to experimentation we did. Yeah, it's a huge testament to Mark and Presti, man. Mark and Presti. Mark getting the personnel and then Presti maximizing it. No, Presti getting the personnel and then Mark maximizing it on the court. And this is why, like, I know there was rough moments with Mark in the playoffs, but this is why, like, I always thought getting him fired or like putting his job on the line was always a step too far because end of the day, what he was able to do was he was able to lead a historic defense, right? You can't just let that go. What he's done with this team is special. Have I been to a Thunder game? Yeah, yeah. Like I've been a I've been a good amount of games. I haven't won a playoff game. I've not won a playoff game. I've been to Oklahoma. I've been to Oklahoma. I've been to Oklahoma. But any chance they keep playing, man? Um, yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question. That was my question watching the game live. That was my question coming into the series. I expected Minnesota to start with man because that's what they do so well. And I don't think they're just gonna concede, not playing man, just playing zone because their comfort zone is man, So I wasn't expecting them to concede that, but again, I don't think their defense was awful today. Like I don't think Minnesota's looking at this like we have to change it. I don't think Shea destroyed them enough. I don't think Shea destroyed them enough in isolation to the point where they're just gonna get out of man coverage. I think if Shea had a good game for the full 48 minutes, they might have. But I think they live with this right now. Yeah, I've went to Blazers, OKC. I've went to Thunder games in Oklahoma before too. Yeah, I've lived in Oklahoma before also. Yeah, I'm just not there right now. So I went to games on both. Yeah, Wiggins is. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay. True. They don't see how good the Thunder play defense, which is lacking in the modern era. I just don't think fans understand. I think that's the biggest issue. I don't think us as like people in media or people like on broadcast on games. I don't think that they've done a good enough job explaining it, or make you understand the difference. Like you guys can laugh at inside the NBA for making jokes, and that's cool. That's good. That's a good product. They do what they want to do, but they're also not teaching you how special the Thunder's defense is, right? Not every NBA countdown. What they're gonna talk about is who was the face of the league, um, Shea versus stuff like that. Like that's really the issue. Like it's much more obvious to see like how revolutionary like the Golden State was because Steph's bombing 40 footers. It's not as obvious to see how revolutionary Thunder are just because they're forcing turnovers. It just feels like a normal. Doesn't feel, but like a casual fan would just think it's like a normal physical aggressive defense. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy all the tornado stuff was pretty fine for you guys. I heard it was just scared stuff for a while, but it's good to hear. Like there's nothing. I don't think there's anything major that came from that. That's good to hear. Obviously, the trade for AC, the acquisition of Hartenstein made his team complete. Scott, because like that's really the thing. This team really could have. This team was right there last year, right there. At least in terms of winning the West. I don't know about winning the finals. I don't think they would have beat Boston with that team last year, but they were right there in terms of. I mean, they were a possession, like a few possessions away from beating Dallas. You know, you win Game 6. Some figures go your way in Game 3. Maybe you win that series. You know, like you just needed like if you didn't lose the Giddy minutes by that much. Um, if you had another big outside of Chet that series, you would have won that series. It was just this tiny margin, tiny margin. Maybe even if like Dallas just shot a few percent worse for free, you know they shot insanely good after game one. So yeah, AC and Hardenstein really put this team over the top. They didn't really even need like AC and Hardenstein to like get to this level, but I mean not to get to this level, but like to get over the hump. But like it just gave them that extra comfort, like extra margin for error, if that makes sense. They don't because it wasn't a game seven. For some reason, if it's not a game seven, people understand. The series was completely tied, like in terms of point differential. And game two, I think Dallas won. It was not game two and game five. I would say Dallas controlled, and then game three, game four, and game six were completely like lost second. Um, and then the Thunder lost two of those games. Like if they win game six, who knows? You know. I'm happy the Dallas series happened. I'm happy the Dallas series happened. Yeah. All I hear right now is refs. It feels good to not play Jokic. It does because like I respect I'm gonna respect Jokic, you know, by saying that I feel a lot more comfortable right now than I did at any point that series, even after we went up 3-2. Like I feel it's just like a different sense of relief when you're playing. Their best players are Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle. You know, there's only so much they can adjust, only so much they can pressure defense into. Yeah, the case and Lively stuff was funny. I think people like had their mindset on Lively being better off like 1 year playing next to Luca, but from yeah. The case and pick was really like one of Presti's best also because like that was like a time where the Thunder didn't really need a guard. I remember the second the Thunder drafted Case and Wallace. I can go back and look at the tweets. I might quote tweet it if I find it right now. I was talking about like all the Thunder fans were mad. Why are we drafting another guard? We need Lively. We need another big. Immediate reactions after the draft. I don't think people understood how special Kaysen was, like as a defensive prospect. And Mark just stack. I mean, Presti just stacking on these defensive guys. Obviously, has led to this. Like Presti's got lucky a few times in his career with like Shai's development. I mean, that was just a complete like. I don't think he would have saw that right, but like everything else in his rebuild, like building his defensive roster, was completely done by him. I mean, shout out Presti. I don't know what else to say. After game one, who's the X factor outside the big three? Um, Chet, really Kaysen, right? I don't know if he's an X factor, but I would say yeah, I would say Kaysen. I would say Kaysen because if he continues to guard Edwards in this manner, like where he just completely takes him out the game, that he could be one of the most valuable players for the Thunder in the series. And it's probably gonna be Kaysen. Yeah. If you're talking about offensively, I still think it's gonna be Joe. I still think Joe gives you like the extra look that no one else does. If I mean even Kenrich could be like we'll see. I don't really expect the Kenrich thing to really hold up to this level. I think Minnesota would be prepared for us to go small next time. I think they'll make adjustments for that. But like if the Kenrich small ball lineups work, it could also be him. But like, it's between those two free players right there. Again, I don't. I'm really not trying to be harsh on Dort. I love Lou. It feels like another series. What I'm saying, it just doesn't feel like a Dort series, but we'll see. He really struggles against good screeners, and now he's playing Jokic and Gobert back to back. It's really hard for him to like really stuck. Yeah, stick with certain guys. Kaysen is so young; he feels like a vet. Yeah, Kaysen's literally what 21 years old, and you could probably say he was 33, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference outside of when he dunks. Like he's so he's so composed. He's so smart defensively. Like, can we talk about Kaysen almost never fouls? Kaysen never fouls, and he's reaching it almost every single time. You know, like that is called like poise and like precision and like good decision making. Follow someone Carriage came in and hit some shots. Were you surprised by the move to play him and surprised by his shot making ability? I was surprised. I was surprised by the decision to play him, but I understood why he played him because of how he's played in the past against Minnesota. Is shot making ability? No, no, because I said it earlier. Kenrich has been a really good shooter, bro. Like this year, and that people just not talked about it because there's so many things to talk about this year, right? But like he's, I didn't expect him to go free for free, but like I was not shocked at all that like Kenrich is hitting shots because he shot 40% from free in the regular season, 80% from the line. He like heavily improved as a shooter like this season. So again, if these small ball lineups really work, man, that's like a 10 man rotation you're running right there. And I don't expect J Will to play at all. I don't really expect J Will to play at all this series, honestly. Just because like he just doesn't really provide you with anything different. Like I think last series he provided you with like a different on ball guy for Jokic. Like there's not really a guy you need him for this series. All right. I'll see if you guys have any more questions. Obviously, it's getting just a little bit late, but like I'll obviously keep going if you guys have more things to say. But I think I've got most of the stuff I wanted to say off my chest. Oh, I might have forgot a tweet to make. Did I forget? Oh God, I forgot this tweet. Hold up, my bad. All right, just love that Mark is on point. Yeah, yeah. M- These last two games from Mark, that game seven, making those adjustments, but Crusoe on Jokic in the end, and then obviously, today the trust in playing small ball, the trust in taking double big out quickly. Like Mark has really coached like really two good games after some spotty game six game management. Um, obviously, obviously had that bad game for in game one. So like after that first half of the series, like I feel like people need to understand that Mark's also like an inexperienced coach. He's also like I think not even 40 yet, but he's also just barely coached outside of this Thunder roster. So as much as we want to talk about the players growing, like Shea growing, Mark's gonna grow with him. Like he's gonna be understand game management. He's gonna understand how playoff series flip. The more he does this, is it more probable for us to go 2-0 back on the road or 1-1? Um, 2-0, 2-0. Yeah, I'm just I'm gonna expect them to win every home game this series. They've been really really good at home all postseason. Really really good at home. The only game they lost was the game they controlled, which was game one against Denver. They blew out Memphis twice. They blew out Minnesota today. They blew out Denver game two. They won game five against Denver and they blew out Denver game seven. They're insane at home. So I'm definitely expecting us to go up 2-0. Yep, whole team growing up, whole core growing up. It's really fun to watch, man. And again, it's really sad that a lot of upper people can't appreciate this, but yeah, like we just have so many guys to throw and like counter against whatever the lineups they run. So I'm feeling again. I'm feeling good. I like whatever adjustments they make. I feel like the Thunder have a counter back. Like I do think there's a solid chance the Wolves take a game two and point the series. So I'm still not. And again, I'm not getting overconfident, but like I truly think the Thunder should have a counter for everything personnel wise. But I definitely think they're gonna throw the zone look at the Thunder eventually, and that's gonna be the big test. Who's your ideal finals matchup so I know who to cheer for? New York. New York. For multiple reasons. One, I think Dort has completely owned Jalen Brunson for years. Like Jalen Brunson has sucked against the Thunder just because Dort just completely bodies them up. Like he's perfect counter for his play style. And number two, I just think beating New York in the finals would be so fun. Like playing in New York, playing in MSG, that would be such a fun way for the Thunder to win the first chip. So like half of it's because of basketball, but like the other half is like it would be so cool to like beat the Knicks in the finals. Like be a New York team in the finals, like a big market, you know, like a small market, like upper rising small market versus a rising big market. Like that would be really fun. And I also think I just think the Pacers are like a slightly better team against us, just because like yeah, I mean yeah, Halliburton didn't do good against the Cyber. I just think like Pacers are slightly better, but like yeah, Shea or a Farman, bro. Oh my god, bro. Like, can you imagine Instagram captions he can get off in MSG? Yeah, I'll root for the Knicks personally, but again, it's up to y'all. Yeah. Oh, you guys want to know another thing? Hold up. I'm talking about Joe. Oh shit, no, no. Okay. His stats, damn it, bro. His stats are bad from like his last few games, but like last five. Let's see this. Like he's been insane. Okay, I messed it up, but like he's been insane against the Knicks. Like last year, I think he had like back-to-back 30 point games. Like look at his efficiency, 13 of 17 and 14 of 18. Like JDub in the Garden, I'd be so excited about the Thunder lived. Yeah, and that's the main thing, Colin. Like the Thunder being able to like get solid offensive game off while not shooting any 3 pointers is pretty absurd, and that just really comes down to good decision making. So like again, good by Shea getting all those passes in. Chet and Hardenstein were finishing really well today. Like overall, just like a really encouraging offensive game. Like it was really hard. Like even despite like the again like not an insane offensive output, like only 114 points. I think in a game where you just couldn't get a 3 point shot off, like you have to feel pretty good about that. And again, if they're gonna play man for a full series, I do expect there's gonna be a game where Shea just completely goes off. I don't know. Again, I don't know how well McDaniels will guard him. We'll have to see. It's gonna be a back and forth battle. But if Shea's gonna be playing man for like an entire series, he's gonna have a game where he goes for 40. He's gonna have that game. It's gonna happen. I mean, today he played bad and he scored 31 points. Like it's gonna happen. What clicked after half, just making open shots. Um, yeah. Some of that they hit a lot more 3 pointers in that third quarter, and it was also some of it was just. I mean, Shea got going. I think Shea and JDub getting going was like a big issue. The defense really carried over. Like outside of like Randall hitting few 3 pointers in the first half, everything else remained the same defensively. It was just like Shea and Jada were able to establish themselves. They're both really bad in the first half. They finally got into the game. That's really where the game changed in the second half. And again, that's what's going to come down to. Can Shea and Jada beat their guy in isolation? Can Shea and Jada punish those coverages? Because they're basically saying, we're not going to give the Thunder role players a lot of shots. We're not going to help off. Honestly, that's probably the answer. Why the Thunder didn't shoot so many 3 pointers? Because the Wolves weren't helping much. The Wolves were mainly like playing in front of your man, play one on one, and one on one the Thunder aren't shooting many 3 pointers. So it's really gonna come down to how much Shea and Jada can punish those coverages. And yes, a monster Shea game is bound to happen. If there's ever been a series where Shea is gonna get a 40 point game, maybe even higher, it's gonna be the series. And it's not because Minnesota is a bad defensive team, but it's because they're letting him beat him. All right, I think I'm gonna call it. If there's a last second question, I'll answer it. But I appreciate all of y'all for coming to the stream. I'll stream after game two, every single game this postseason, or at least I'll try to. Um, I might make some videos. We'll have to see. It's really hard to make videos and other funner stuff like during the postseason because like you only have like 1 day breaks, so it's kind of hard to get a video off. But I'll try to see something. Try to see what I can do. But again, I appreciate all of y'all for coming out. Like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe. Again, appreciate anyone for coming here, chatting, asking questions. It wouldn't be possible to have this conversation without y'all. But outside of that, Thunder up 1-0. Game 2 on Thursday. Appreciate y'all for coming out, man.